I knew I was in trouble the second I saw the flashing red and blue lights bouncing off my grandpa's old barn, but I hadn't done anything wrong. All I'd done was let grandpa's cows out to graze on our land. That's when I heard her shrill voice cutting through the morning air like a rusty saw blade. Those beasts are trespassing. This is community property. Patricia Hendress, HOA president, self-appointed ruler of our small town's new development that backed up right to grandpa's ranch. She'd been a nightmare ever since. I came back to restore the place after grandpa passed, and now she was pointing at my cattle like she'd discovered a crime scene. The sheriff's car door opened and my stomach dropped. No way, I muttered, squinting as the man stepped out with that familiar swagger. It was Jake Morrison, my cousin. I hadn't seen him in years, not since family barbecues back when we were kids. He adjusted his hat, barely hiding a smirk. "Morning, Travis," he said. "Heard we got some dangerous cows on the loose." Patricia's jaw dropped. "You know this." "This trespasser?" she stammered. Jake looked at me, then back at her. "Ma'am, this trespasser owns every inch of the land these cows are standing on." Her face flushed crimson. "That's impossible. The HOA voted to what?" Jake interrupted. "Rewrite property lines?" I couldn't help but grin. Patricia wasn't used to being challenged, especially not by someone in uniform. She shuffled through her papers, muttering about bylaws and visual uniformity. Jake leaned against his cruiser, arms crossed. "Travis, you still got the deed from Grandpa?" "Sure do." I pulled the weathered folder from my truck. Grandpa always said, "Keep your papers close, boy. Folks forget what's yours if you don't remind them." Patricia snatched it like a hawk, flipping through until her face froze. "But this can't be right. These boundaries extend past the fence line." "Yep," Jake said. "And that fence you made your HOA boys build? That's about 20 feet inside his property." The look on her face was priceless, like her entire HOA empire had just crumbled. She sputtered something about needing to verify records, then stomped off to her golf cart, tires squealing like an angry toddler. Jake chuckled, shaking his head. "Same old Karen energy, huh?" I laughed. "Worse, she's got a title now." He grinned. "Well, cousin, looks like I'm gonna be stopping by more often. Feels like trouble brews easy out here." And he was right, because that was just the start of Patricia's war. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of angry mooing and the distant rev of an ATV. My first thought was coyotes. My second thought was, no way she's this crazy. When I stepped outside, the truth hit me like a hammer. The back gate was wide open, and my cows were scattered across the HOA's pristine lawns like a moving carpet of chaos. One was munching on the president's petunias. Another had knocked over a plastic flamingo. And there, at the center of it all, stood Patricia Hendress, phone in hand, fury in her eyes. "I warned you, Travis," she shrieked. "This is vandalism by livestock." I walked up calmly. "They broke out because someone cut my fence," I said, pointing at the snapped wire. "That's sabotage." She laughed, fake and loud. "Oh, please. Probably old wire from your rundown ranch. Can't expect HOA property to stay safe from your negligence." That's when Jake's truck rolled in, kicking up dust. He stepped out, eyes scanning the scene. "What did I tell you?" I muttered. "Trouble brews easy." Patricia ran toward him, all flailing arms and fake tears. "Sheriff! You have to arrest him! His cows are terrorizing the neighborhood. They even damaged my mailbox." Jake looked at her, then at me. "Funny thing, ma'am," he said slowly, crouching beside the broken fence. "This wire's been clean cut. Fresh, too. You use garden shears by any chance?" Patricia froze, her face turning red. "How dare you accuse me?" "I didn't," Jake replied. "Just asking. You're the only one who benefits from making it look like Travis can't handle his livestock." The HOA board members who'd gathered behind her started whispering. One man pulled out his phone, snapping pictures of the cut fence. Patricia noticed and snapped, "Stop that! HOA business is confidential." Jake straightened up, giving me a quiet nod. "Travis, you want to file a report?" I smiled slow. "Sure do." Patricia's lips trembled. "You wouldn't dare." "Oh, I dare," I said. "You trespassed, tampered with property, and endangered livestock. Grandpa's cows are part of the ranch's registry. You messed with state tags." Her jaw dropped. "State tags?" Jake smirked. "Yep. That means it's not just HOA business anymore. It's county business." The crowd of HOA residents grew silent. A few looked embarrassed. Others quietly backed away. Patricia, still fuming, pointed at me and spat. "You'll regret this." "I'll get legal counsel." I tipped my hat. "Good, you'll need it." Because I already had a plan, and it was going to end her HOA tyranny for good. A week later, Patricia went quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes you check your locks twice and keep your phone close. I knew she was plotting something, and I was right. It started with a letter, official looking. HOA seal and all, slid under my front door. It claimed that my property was under investigation for code violations, including unauthorized fencing, unkempt livestock, and noise pollution. Noise pollution from cows. I laughed out loud, then called Jake. She's at it again. Already on it, he said. You're gonna want to check your sky tonight. That got my attention. I stepped outside after dark, coffee in hand, and sure enough, there it was. A tiny drone buzzing above my pasture, camera blinking red. Patricia's snooping wasn't limited to fences anymore. I aimed my flashlight straight at it, and it zipped off toward her house. I followed it with my truck until it landed neatly in her driveway. She jumped when she saw me pull up. "What are you doing on my property?" she snapped. "Returning your drone," I said, holding up my phone with a recording of it flying over my land. "You might want to tell your lawyer about this too." Her face twisted. "You have no proof that's mine." Jake's voice came from behind me. "Actually, she does." He stepped out from the shadows, badge catching the porch light. "Drones registered under your HOA's equipment lease. County database confirms it." Patricia paled. "This is harassment!" Jake smirked. "No, ma'am. This is evidence." She tried to snatch the drone, but Jake held it out of reach. "We're impounding this. You'll need to explain to the county, judge, why you're using HOA funds for private surveillance." The porch light flickered in the tension. For once, Patricia didn't have a comeback. She just glared, trembling with rage. That night, Jake stayed over for coffee. "You know," he said, "I ran those old property records. Found something you'll like." He spread out the original survey map from Grandpa's deed. The ranch land stretched way past the current fence line, across what was now the HOA's community park. I stared at it. "You're kidding." "Nope. They've been building on your land for years." I laughed, half in disbelief. "Well, looks like it's time to reclaim what's ours." Jake raised his mug. "To Grandpa's legacy, and to justice served hot. Because tomorrow we were taking this fight to the courthouse." The county courthouse smelled like old wood and justice. I stood in my boots, hat in hand, beside Jake, who'd shown up off duty to support me. Across the aisle sat Patricia Hendress, surrounded by 2 HOA board members and a lawyer who looked like he regretted every life choice that brought him there. Judge Walker adjusted his glasses. "All right, folks, let's settle this dispute. We're here to determine property." Marco and a few groomsmen moved strategically, actions taken by either party. Patricia's lawyer started first, talking in circles about community standards and aesthetic compliance. The judge listened, unimpressed. When he finally looked our way, Jake handed over a folder. "Your Honor, here's the original deed and survey from 1963, filed under Morrison Ranch, and here's aerial evidence showing the HOA's current structures built on that land." The judge flipped through the pages, his eyebrows climbing. "You're telling me this entire community park belongs to Mr. Morrison here?" Jake nodded. "Down to the last square foot." Patricia jumped up. "That can't be. We paid for that land. Our HOA has rights." The judge gave her a flat stare. "Ma'am, your HOA can't grant itself property it doesn't own." Her lawyer tried to whisper something, but she wasn't having it. "No, this is fraud!" "He must have faked those records." Jake leaned forward. "Ma'am, the county assessor already confirmed them. The only fraud here is you building on private property and using HOA funds for illegal surveillance." The courtroom murmured. Patricia's face drained of color. The judge banged his gavel once. "Enough! The court finds in favor of Mr. Travis Morrison. The HOA will remove all structures encroaching on his land and reimburse him for damages." The words hit Patricia like a thunderclap. She sat down hard, staring at the floor. Her lawyer packed up quietly. Outside, the reporters were already gathering, turns out. Word spreads fast when a whole HOA gets humbled. Jake chuckled as we stepped into the sunlight. "Think she'll call the sheriff again?" I smirked. "Only if her cats wander into my pasture." That evening, as the sun dipped behind the barn, I walked the fence line, my fence line, freshly marked and secure. The cows grazed peacefully. No flashing lights, no shouting neighbors. Just the sound of wind through grass, the way Grandpa liked it. Jake leaned on the gate beside me. "So what'll you do now?" "Keep it the way it's supposed to be," I said. "Family land. No HOA nonsense." He grinned. "Guess the cows won." I laughed. "Guess they did. Because in the end, Grandpa was right. When you stand your ground, no HOA in the world can take it from you." Want more crazy HOA drama like this? Smash that like, drop a comment about your favorite part, and make sure you're subscribed.